Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name's Anita Wilson, and I am the project manager for the Georgia Home Energy Rebates administered by Georgia Environmental Finance Authority. Mia White, a state and local government consultant with Guidehouse, will be supporting our session today. So thank you, Mia. And we have just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started, and those are as follows. Today's webinar is recorded, and if you have questions on what we are covering today, please use the Q&A feature that is in Zoom. You will hover to reveal the functionality or icon type of options in Zoom, and then you'll click on Q&A, and then a box should appear to allow you to put a question into that box today. And then wanted to remind everyone the information we are sharing with you is current as of March 25th, 2026. If you are watching this as a recording later, just please note that the most up-to-date information will be found on our official website, energyrebates.georgia.gov. Now let's jump into our content for today. Again, this is the program overview for Georgia Home Energy Rebates, and we can go ahead and go to the next slide where we are going to begin with a little bit of background about Georgia Environmental Finance Authority. GEFA was founded in 1986 and turns 40 years old this year. GEFA manages programs that serve and improve Georgia's energy, land, and water resources. GEFA provides loans for critical infrastructure projects and land conservation. And GEFA also manages energy efficiency and renewable energy programs and monitors state-owned fuel storage tanks. GEFA serves as the state energy office for Georgia. Georgia's home energy rebates is administered through GEFA's Energy Resources Division, and Georgia's home energy rebates is funded by the U.S. Department of Energy. And we can go to the next slide. Perfect. Georgia's Home Energy Rebates is comprised of two distinct programs. These programs are designed to support Georgia residents interested in energy efficiency home improvements and/or electric appliance updates at a reduced cost. Energy efficiency programs and updating existing appliances with ones that require less energy to operate can lower monthly energy bills. The program does not require a loan, waiting to take advantage of a tax credit, or having a lien issued against the home. All Georgia residents are eligible to participate, and project applications are going to be processed on a first come, first served basis. The program is not restricted to owner occupied homes. Tenants may apply with permission from the homeowner. All right, going on to our next slide, we are going to get into an overview of those two distinct programs that make up Georgia's home energy rebates. We will start with the home efficiency rebates. The home efficiency rebates, or HER program, is designed to address home energy efficiency improvements, and higher rebates are available to households with specific income qualifications. Under the HER program, the rebate amount will depend on energy savings achieved by the project as well as household income. The maximum rebate amount for under the HER program is $16,000. Projects submitted under the HER program are always contractor led. The Home Electrification and Appliance Rebates, or HERE program, provides rebates to households with income under 150% of area median income, or AMI, of their county. Under the HERE program, rebates will apply to a variety of appliance installations and efficiency measures, including heat pump hot water heaters, heat pump clothes dryers, electric stovetops, cooktops, ranges, and ovens, air sealing, and ventilation. The HERE program does not have an energy savings threshold requirement, but each eligible measure has a rebate cap, and the maximum rebate amount for all measures combined is $14,000. Most projects submitted under the HERE program are also contractor led, but certain HERE projects can be submitted under HERE's do it yourself or DIY pathway. We plan to share more details on the DIY pathway in a future webinar, but there is information about the DIY option on the program website, energyrebates.georgia.gov. A note about household area median income. Area median income, or AMI levels, are determined by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. AMI levels differ from county to county, and a listing of current income limits is available on the HUD website, and a link to that website is available on our official program website, energyrebates.georgia.gov. And we can move on to the next slide, and I'm going to pause for just a minute and see if we have any questions around those first few slides. I don't see any, so I'm going to continue on with our process to participate. A typical project is going to take about 4 to 6 weeks, start to finish. It begins with some initial interest or thoughts from the applicant about what they might like to do in their home. Again, they can do some homework by looking around on the program website, energyrebates.georgia.gov, get an idea of what is required and what contractors are within the program's network that they can reach out to. The applicant will then reach out to a contractor. A good way to get to the list is go to energyrebates.georgia.gov and get to the Find an Approved Contractor tab. You'll be able to search for a contractor in your county or by the name or a portion of the name of the company, or by looking up a specific service that you would like to have done at your home, like HVAC. You'll click the search button, and then a list of those available contractors will pop up. You'll be able to get to their contact information and reach out. You do not have to go with the first contractor that comes to your home to go over an idea for a project to do in your home. If you're not satisfied with working with the first contractor that comes to your home to talk about the project, please get back to that directory and find another contractor, and don't move forward until you're comfortable with the contractor that you're talking with about the project. Once you're good with the contractor that you've been talking about the project work with, that contractor will actually get onto our program application platform, and they will be the ones that actually create the application in the system. They will then invite you in as the resident to complete a separate portion of the application that deals with your household size, your household income, your proof of residency, and other requirements around getting your household eligibility established. A review team that is working through Georgia Home Energy Rebates will review both the contractor's scope of work to make sure it is program compliant, as well as the household eligibility information that is uploaded by you as the homeowner to make sure everything is in good shape to get funds reserved through the program, and this will happen before actual work begins at the home. You will get you as the resident will get an email notification of the amount that has been approved, and then the contractor will get a notification of what has been approved. So both parties will be notified before work gets started at the home. And then for installation and final submission part of the process. The contractor has this is predicated on that the contractor has completed the work in the home. They have gone back into the application and uploaded certain required photos and appliance information and confirmation of a quality install. And that is all uploaded and saved into the application on the contractor side of the application. And then that is re-reviewed by the review team. Every once in a while, there may be a on-site quality assurance inspection done, and that will be taking arranged for and taken care of by the implementation team on behalf of GFA. And that would be if there is something on site that is required for that particular application, a member of the team will reach out to you to coordinate a convenient time for the on-site inspection to take place. After all that is done, the project team will close out the application by doing a final review that everything looks good, and then they will issue payment directly to the contractor. And I'm going to pause there because I saw some questions come into the Q&A. So we have, I work for a college that owns several rental homes. Could they apply for the rebate? Okay, and then it says Mia White would like to answer that question. Mia, would you like to take that one and I'll catch my breath?
Yes, apologies. I actually did not mean to click that, but we will address that question right here, right now.
Yeah.
So, absolutely, rental properties can go through both the HER and HERE program. There's a couple of different documentations that will be required to just acknowledge any tenants that will be on the property. We refer to that as our tenant and landlord authorization form. So we can make sure you get that document after this session here today.
Okay, thank you. All right, then I see I am selling my house and building another house, but everything I get out of the sale will go into the new house. All right, and do I qualify? I think it would be best for us to work with you one-on-one to confirm all the ins and outs of that and what the income eligibility would be. So I'm gonna if Brenda, you would get us your contact information, we will work with you on that one-on-one. All right, then we had a question about the payment. So again, payment is actually going to be issued to the contractor in 99 percent of the cases. The only exception is if a resident decides to go with that DIY pathway where the resident is actually purchasing the appliance and taking care of the install. Again, this is just specific appliances like maybe a new oven going into the home. In that situation, the payment would be issued to the resident after all the application stuff has been taken care of. And so, in all other cases, since the process is contractor led, the contractor is in essence working without payment because they know all the steps. Being as part of our network, they know all the steps that they need to take in order for payment to be issued to them directly. So that will take care of getting them paid. All right, and then all right. What happens when, oh, good question. What happens when the rebate amount is actually less than the overall project cost that the contractor has quoted to you? So, first of all, it is important that you understand with that contractor the total amount, the total project cost of what is being submitted as a scope of work. And before work is done, you need to understand if there is going to be any remaining cost and it is fine to ask for this in writing, if there is going to be any remaining cost that is going to be out of pocket for you as the resident, that for some reason or another, the rebates cannot cover. So it's that's why I say it's just very important to work be very comfortable with your contractor and how they're explaining things to you and the information that they are providing to you. And if you are ever not comfortable around what you have discussed, especially around pricing and cost and out of pocket with that contractor, please be sure to go to another contractor to get multiple quotes. And if you're still having some struggle around that, please, we're going to provide you with some information about our call center. So please take advantage of that if you need to clarify what a contractor is telling you about overall project costs and what you may owe out of pocket. So that is a nice option. Yep. And then, what if the energy efficiency appliances have already been installed before finding out about this program? Do you qualify for the rebate? The short answer is no. Unfortunately, there is not a retroactive option for the here, which is that more appliance geared rebate. And there are it is technically an option for the home efficiency rebates, that her whole home efficiency pathway, but there's so many program requirements that have to be done on the front end of that project. It is very, very tough to kind of thread that needle. So if the project you are thinking about is more of a her type of project and you'd like to explore retroactivity around that, you can get with us one on one and we'll take you through that. But a lot of the upfront work that goes into something like that does seem to make it very difficult to get that retroactivity option to take hold. We got
Anita,
that.
if I can
Yep,
jump in here right quick, I
please
might
do.
suggest that we move on for right now, just to kind of get through
Okay,
the rest of our
for the
content, and
timing.
then we see these questions in the Q&A, so we'll come back to those at our next break.
Yep, keep them coming. We're gonna have some time at the end to jump into some more questions. Thanks, Miss Mia. All right. Yep.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, and then we have a nice example that might put this in better perspective as well. We have an example project under our here. Again, that's more of that electrification appliance type of rebate, but other measures can be folded into a here project as well. Applicant profile that we see a lot is a household size of two. Fulton County, of course, in the Atlanta area. Household income there in this example was 45,000, and that for that household size and the AMI established for Fulton County, that did put this particular household below that 80% AMI. That means that they are eligible for that enhanced rebate that maxes out at $14,000. The contractor did put a project scope of work together. The household's project included a heat pump for heating and cooling. It included associated electric wiring and an electric panel, and then the labor to get all that installed. So again, that contractor would have put that scope together, talked it over with the homeowner. The homeowner would have gone in and put on all their information related to household, and then the contractor completed that work. So, project cost for the work that the contractor proposed did total $14,000. Again, based on the information provided by the resident, they did qualify for that maximum rebate amount of $14,000. That was going to be applied to the cost of the project. So, zero out of pocket cost for this particular applicant. The entire project cost was invoiced, and then that invoice was uploaded into the application portal. that final review by our review team was conducted, and then the contractor in that case was paid the $14,000 to cover that full project cost. Okay, and we can move to the next. Yep, great. And then we just wanted to give you some overall status and statistics around where we're at with the program. So we, as of early March, so around March 3rd is where we pulled this data from, is we have almost 1,600 households that have received rebates since November of 2024. We are still growing our network of contractors. We were at 117 in early March. I just heard from a project update that we are at 125. So we are still bringing additional contractors into our network and getting them onboarded and trained and ready to go in the program. We have 120 counties around the state of Georgia that have submitted applications. And then an estimated energy savings for an average household is $1,429. An average rebate amount, again, this is the rebate amount that gets applied to the project, is $10,950. And again, once all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed and everything is good in the application, that final review takes place, the payment processing time to the contractor is approximately 5 business days. All right, should I pause for a few questions, Miss Mia, or keep rolling?
Apologies. I think we can pause and address some of these questions.
Let's do
And what
that.
I'll do,
Okay.
I'll
Around the
also start
contractor?
addressing some of
Yeah.
these shorter ones through typing. So, Anita, if you'd like to start with John's question and we can work from
And then
there.
work on down. Perfect. All right. Oh yeah, we have our when that rebate amount is less than the cost quoted by the contractor. Just a reminder, definitely if you feel like it's right to go ahead and work with a different contractor to get a different scope, or go back to that contractor and say, listen, I'm in a situation where I want to pay zero out of pocket. Can we work on this scope of work to make sure that I'm paying zero out of pocket? And if that contractor isn't willing to work through that with you, definitely try to get another quote. Or if you're still struggling after getting multiple quotes, give our contact center a call and just confirm some rebate level information, just so you have at least someone from the program confirming what maybe the contractor is talking with you at your home about the project. All right. Building 5 low-income homes for a no nonprofit. Okay. If the especially this is a great question, because we're getting this question a lot. We are working through building a simplified process to help organizations organizations or developers with something like this. We're going to ask that you reach out to us directly so that we can get you with the right team members to talk through that. But short answer is yes, but we want to just make sure you understand what the process looks like for that. All right. Can more than one project be done in a year? Yes. You can. What we recommend is that if you think there might be some whole home efficiency type of measures, more that her program where you're working to get that energy savings, we do recommend that you start with that project, just so that if you decide to do some additional individual measures, maybe through our Here Appliance program, that you're not lowering that energy savings by doing those first. It's better to get that maximum energy savings identified and achieved under the HER program. And then you can always come back later and look at the HER program and do some additional measures that maybe didn't get done in that HERE program. But officially, you can definitely do more than one project in a year. You can have multiple applications that get approved. You can't do the exact same measure over and over, so you can't just keep putting in a stove and a new stove and a new stove. But the review team will help you through that, and that is definitely a nice option. We have had some applicants start with one project, get through that with the contractor, get that rebate taken care of, and then they look at maybe another measure that they would like to get done, and if the rebates can be used for that project. So that's a great question. Since the contractor receives the payment directly, do we, as the customer, have the ability to confirm that the work was completed properly? So, what you would want to do is if when the install is going on or when it is complete, if there is an issue, we want you to your first the first thing we would like you to do is try to work with that contractor to get it addressed and be very direct with them about what you are seeing, what you are not happy with, and what you would like to see done or changed to make sure everything looks good, at least from your point of view. If you have any concerns after you've kind of gone through that process, or if that process isn't going well, we do want you to contact the call center so that they can get the right folks on the team involved to possibly get someone to talk it through with you either over the phone or get someone to come out and take a look at what you were seeing, so that all your questions and concerns are addressed. Okay. Windows I got a question, are new windows included in the program? So this is another one that is technically yes. And there is on our website, energyrebates.georgia.gov. If you go to our FAQ section, we do have a little section about windows. Again, technically they are an allowable measure in the HER program. What we have found is that the cost of Windows doesn't always get you the maximum bang for your buck under the rebate program. The energy savings that is required doesn't always get addressed by the actual cost of new windows and doors. So that's why it's again important to talk with your contractor about that first, and on the front end, let them do that energy modeling and explain that with you so that you understand what a window and door would cost versus what the rebate is going to be able to address based on those energy savings.
If I can jump in here, Anita, I'll
Yes.
suggest we take a pause on questions and just
Okay,
finish
okay.
out the content, and then we'll get right back into it.
Excellent. Great questions, guys. Keep them coming. We'll get back to them. We can go ahead to that next slide. All right. Oh, and this is another more program-wide update that we wanted to let you know about where we stand with funding. So we have about 23 million. I think I just heard in a meeting we're getting close to 25 million out the door. So lots of funds going out so far, but there's lots of funds left to go out. So you're getting to know about this program today at a good time, because we've worked out some kinks between now and when things got going last in November of 24. So we've kind of smoothed out the kinks a little bit, but there's still plenty of funds that you can take advantage of with your project. So we have about 4.5 million out the door on the HER program, that whole home efficiency program, and then we've got about 19.2 million out the door on that appliance program, the electrification kind of appliance. And then the charts on here kind of give you an idea of the number of applications that have been processed in both programs and the average rebate that has gone out in the program. And I'll call out that you'll see a multifamily row noted on the HERE program. Multifamily, the HER program can be used for multifamily in a multifamily setting as well. And we don't have any fully paid out applications for multifamily on the HER side quite yet. So we're hoping to later this year, and that will add to that chart. But just wanted to mention that if you're involved in kind of the multifamily world, that we can help projects with that on both the HER and the HERE side, multifamily. And we do plan to have a webinar later this year that is specifically around multifamily. But there is a multifamily tab on our official website as well if you want to learn a little bit more about multifamily. All right. Of the projects receiving a rebate, what percentage have required the homeowner to pay a portion of the cost? We don't have a specific percentage off the top. Right off the top. That is something we can share when we share out some information on this webinar today. It is relatively low, again, because applicants are having that conversation with their contractor, letting them know that they are not in a position to pay out of pocket, or the amount that they are able to pay out of pocket is in that lower range. So we've seen success with applicants working well with the contractor to work that out. But we have seen applicants also want to go ahead and get something knocked out while the contractor is there, and they do work that out on the front end that they will pay the remaining amount. So we'll look into that percentage for to share with these group of folks. Have you had any homes do both HER and HERE? All right. If so, can you provide a case study? We can't, yeah, we can do like another little snapshot of that and share that out with this group, because we have had that case come up. We have seen a HERE project where like some major appliance is put in, maybe like a heat pump for space heating and cooling, and then some other measures that get them to that energy savings. And then they use the HER program to do some additional measures. Yes, that is possible, and they can be done kind of along the same time, and kind of start together, work through the process together, and wrap up together. So again, that's something important to talk with your contract. Be sure to just speak with your contractor about, to see if you're a good fit for something like that in that case. All right. And curious how many households between 80 and 150. Okay, yes. So it's pretty low. We have the majority have been in that low income, that below 80% AMI. As of this morning, it was 93% of applicants were in the below 80% AMI on the HERE side, so that appliance side of the program, and then 98% of folks that did the HERE, applicants that decided to go with the HERE. Oh no, excuse me. I told me I was going to do this. It's 93% on the HERE side and 98% on the HER side. So sorry. So that whole home HER side, 98% of the applicants were under the 80% AMI level. So sorry. I knew I was going to mix those up at some point today. Other questions? All right, Mia, let's go forward. Y'all keep them coming. All right. So we are excited to announce that we have published a program resources tab on our website. This is where we have kind of gone through a lot of the links and documents and things that we have kind of compiled since November of 2024 that can help stakeholders, residents, contractors, and we're getting them all on one section of the website. So definitely, again, we recommend spending some time on the website, clicking through the different tabs, learning what you can, and then also getting to that program resources tab where you can kind of get to like a little, almost like a little library of resources and kind of click through and then get back to those if you needed to look at them again or maybe share those with someone. We also have a rebate calculator tool. This has been really helpful for contractors when they're talking with residents, and it's also something really helpful for residents that are maybe interested, but they want to kind of see where they fall in the eligibility and whether it's enhanced, if they're in that enhanced rebate level versus standard rebate level. That rebate calculator tool is really handy. You just put in your household size, household income, your county, and it will then take you, you'll click submit, it'll take you to a results page, which will kind of spell out where you fall in the eligibility and type of rebates you would be eligible for. And you can kind of have that information ready before, as you're talking with a contractor or before you reach out to a contractor. We also have some application guides. This is really helpful because it kind of takes you, again, we did that high level process start to finish, but this kind of takes you into more detail. If you decide to kind of go more that DIY pathway where you're kind of guiding the install and the rebate process, we do have a application guide that kind of helps you go through that process as well, because we know any kind of online platform, it's a little bit, if you're not in it all the time, it helps to have some sort of reference to go back and forth to help you get through that. And then we did promise to mention the contact center. So that is open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And that is 877 5237. That number is listed on our website as well. So again, if you have program related questions, or if you get started and you run into an issue or a concern, you can call that call center number, and they'll chase down what information they need to get you some help. Any more slides, Miss Mia?
I
Yes.
think we may have one more.
Okay.
Last one.
Oh, this is a good one. All right. What can you guys do now that you know a little bit more about the program? So we're going to plug that website one more time, get in there, look around, see if you can kind of get an idea of maybe how this program might work best for you, where you might see some value in it. And then if you're ready to kind of maybe start talking to a contractor about if you kind of have a project in mind, you can, our in-network contractors again are on that directory, and you can get in there and search around to find one in your area that does this type of work, and that they're ready to go from the program perspective. And then be sure to mention this program to neighbors, friends, family, coworkers, anyone that you think might benefit from this program. It is fine to send them the link, of course, send them to the link to the website, share with them that we're doing these webinars if they'd like to learn little bit more. And they may be able to save some money. And it is a statewide program, so it is not just Atlanta; it is all over the state. And we want to get these funds out far and wide across the state of Georgia if we can. All right. And I did see another question pop up. Is someone eligible for the HER program also want to use both the HER and HERE? Will they be eligible for the max for both? Yes. Okay. I don't think I think I did mention they can do both, but yes, if they are in that low income bracket for the household, they can achieve. We haven't seen it happen yet, but yes, they are eligible to achieve those max. Oh, go ahead, Miss Mia.
Oh, please, please
Oh,
go ahead.
okay. They are eligible to take advantage of the full enhanced rebate. Again, a lot is going to depend on the scope of work that achieved energy savings again on that whole home her side, and then they would have to do absolutely every single measure or max out on the her side to again to get that full amount. But we haven't seen it happen yet, but that doesn't mean it can't happen with some creative project scoping. So that they are definitely qualified to take advantage of the enhanced rebate on both sides if they are below the 80% AMI level. All right. That is all the questions I see in the Q&A chat. We're gonna mention just a couple other things, and we do have time if you think of another question while we are chatting through all of that. We are going to open. I think we're going to try to open that chat feature in this meeting just so we can share the registration link for our next webinar. So we have scheduled the next webinar for April the 22nd. We're going to do it lunchtime style again from 12 to 1. And so that is going to be on Wednesday, April 22nd. And that one is going to get more into the detail on eligibility and the application process. So, if you're wanting to know a little bit more about the ins and outs on eligibility, and then kind of maybe what the application process looks like, and what you would be needing to kind of gather to get through that application, we're going to talk through that on April 22nd. So we'd love to have all of you back, and then please, if you think of somebody else that might benefit from that information, be sure to share the registration link with them. One other thing I wanted to mention is that we are also going to send out a very short survey. I think it's less than 5 questions. It's super, super simple. But if you would just take a few minutes to give us a little bit of feedback, since this was our first one kind of like this, we would really appreciate that. And there will also be a section on topics that you may want to have us cover in a future webinar. So it'll be a little blank space for you to plug that in. And then I saw another question pop up. Do you have any insight into if project leads are coming in more organically from residents, contacting contractors, or contractors doing the marketing? It has mainly been contractor led. So contractors getting out there, talking to their existing client base, or customers that are calling in about a project and sharing this information with them. We have seen contractors within the program do some marketing, like some mailers, emails, and some other type of marketing things. Of course, us at GFA, we're trying to do some marketing as well. We did a big marketing campaign with like billboards and social media and commercials, radio, cable TV. We did a lot of that mid-year in 2025. So we were trying to push it from our perspective as well. But we have had contractors actually become part of the program because a customer had heard about it, wanted to take advantage of it, and needed that contractor to be within network in order to get the project to qualify for this. So it's been a mixed bag, but I would say the number one is that customer contractor touch point and interaction that has really been pushing it. Other questions that we can cover today? Okay. If you know of someone that is possibly interested in becoming an in-network contractor, there is a contractor interest form on our website, and that is the best first step for them to fill that out. And then a member of our team will reach out to them on next steps to see if they would like to move forward with getting enrolled as an approved contractor in our program. So that is still an option that is open. Okay. Mia, I will see. Do you have any last minute things we need
Yeah,
to mention? Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you all so much for being able to join us this afternoon. I'll just make one plug. If you're here today on behalf of an organization, maybe a nonprofit or a community-based organization, and you had questions about data or specific points, please feel free to put your contact information in the Q&A here. We'd love to follow up with you and have a deeper conversation that might be more relevant for your organization.
Okay. All right. I think that is everything that we need to cover today. And then, yes, I do see some raised hands. I didn't know if I'm able to take them off mute to answer that, try to address their question or comment. Let's see. I see. Oh, I see it. Jennifer Terry, you have the floor. Oh, you might still be on mute.
Can you hear me okay now?
There we go. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
perfect. All right. I was going to try to type it in real quick, but I
Okay.
wanted to know, for instance, if I apply for here, for instance, this year, but not eligible this year because, some things could be some pensions, a whole lot of stuff that cause
Uh-huh.
the income to go up. But then next year, uh, I may be eligible for the here. Once I've applied already this year, would I not be eligible to reapply? How does that work?
So, all right, if there's maybe a measure that you need to go ahead and take care of this year, I would go ahead and go through that eligibility calculator tool and see if it is something you can go ahead and take care of this year with eligibility. If you kind of go through that tool and you are definitely out of the running, if the AMI, if the household income is just too high to get you that eligibility on the here side, but you think that it might be something that changes next year. That is an option is to wait and apply. Again, we're most likely going to, if you're qualifying by income, we are most likely going to be using your tax documentation, like your tax year from the
Right,
from
I
the
figured that.
previous year. Does
Yes.
that make sense?
It de
So,
it definitely makes sense. So once
yeah.
I've applied, say for instance, once already, if
Uh-huh.
it's best not to even apply once I do that calculated.
Oh,
If I feel like I'm not gonna qualify, don't even apply. Is that
I'm with you. Yes, you can start down the road, and then if for some reason you just with how the eligibility and the rebate level works out, you can withdraw. You can absolutely withdraw your application and say, hey, this just didn't work out with the way the rebate level was or the eligibility turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and withdraw my application and I will come in at another time and
and that's
reapply.
and
Does that
that's
make
just
sense?
for the it makes
Yeah.
sense, and that's just for the here, correctly? Correct? Okay.
That would be for both.
Both. Okay.
That would be
All
for
right.
both. The only difference I'll highlight is there is no income limit on that her side.
Okay.
So you can be a millionaire and
Okay.
you still get to do her. The only income restriction is on that here appliance side.
Right. I
Yep.
understand. Thank you.
Yep. Good question. Yes. And we will be sure. I saw a little note in the Q&A about some gap financing because I know we had some questions about what is left over. So we are planning to share some information about that in a future webinar as well. All right. Well, we finished a little early. Let's see, make sure we've got our registration link plugged in for April the 22nd. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. I'll give that just a second to come through so y'all can save that. And we're going to put it in this chat in just a minute, but we are also going to post it on that resources tab on our program website so you can get to it there as well. All right. I think it just came through. Yep, looks like a Zoom link there. So if you would like to click on that and go ahead and get registered while you're thinking of it and get that on your calendar, that would be awesome. We would love to have you all back for April 22nd. And then we'll address those few questions that we needed to do a little bit of homework on. We've got those saved here, so we will include that in a post event note communication, and hopefully that will be helpful. And then just a reminder, take a few minutes to take care of that post event survey for us as well. We appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for joining today.